We know that Gemini 2.5 Pro is a very capable model. It's really good at coding, and we want to test how good it is at making games, especially with their new feature of Canvas, where you can iterate on your game. I think we should try to recreate something like this on Google Gemini. Jason, you're playing a game that was made on Rosebud AI recently.
This game here is Aim Arcade. It's pretty good. You just shoot these targets, get a score, and if you miss, you take some damage.
I know that this game is using a couple of assets, and I wonder if you can actually add assets on Gemini so they're used in the game. I'm not sure if that's possible. Maybe you have to host your assets somehow by yourself. Let's give it a try.
Okay, so I'm on Gemini now, making sure I have 2.5 Pro selected and also I have Canvas selected. I want an FPS game in a cool grid environment. I also want to be able to shoot targets that respawn.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Let's see what Gemini does.
I think we should also just make the same game on Rosebud AI from scratch.
Copy paste the prompt, switch over to Rosebud, paste that in here in our prompt bar and submit.
We actually already tested Gemini 2.5 Pro, comparing it to Grok 3 and DeepSeek R1. Gemini made the best game out of all three. We had a little bit of a different approach where we used single file games on Rosebud AI. All right, so what is this? Seems like an error already.
Yes, so it seems that Gemini's had an in-game like error log where they tell you where you have errors, and it's saying that we cannot load assets. I don't even know which assets Gemini's trying to use. Since we don't have assets right now, and again, like Kier was saying, usually you have to go host your asset somewhere. You can't just put an asset into the game like this. Rosebud takes care of that for you. You simply putting the asset in the asset tab. But here we're going to have to just say use simple geometry and not rely on assets. So I got an error in this game. It says it could not load assets and I should check the console. Please rely on an inbuilt geometry. So that again is me just saying that don't use any external assets because I don't have any hosted for Gemini.
In the meantime, we can check what we got on Rosebud AI.
Okay, so we have results here. I like we're already enclosed. There's some walls around.
Yep.
Shooting's working well. Hit these
How are the
targets.
controls?
Controls are great, yeah, so nothing janky.
I really like that there's a wall already.
Oh, yes.
Can you walk through the wall? Let's just test it.
Moment of truth.
Oh,
yeah, I cannot
it is
walk through
very real. We have a next step suggestion. Should we just try it?
Sure, yeah. Rosie said, let's add scoring and display the player's score on the screen when they hit a target.
Amazing.
Do it. This is what Gemini responded. We have a different error. Failed to load critical game components. Make sure you're connected to the internet and try refreshing the page. We'll have to copy this to say, please make this work. All right. So we do have a score on the top left, 10 points per hit. It matches the color of our bullets and also of our little crosshair.
Yeah, I love that the crosshairs here already. Because I struggled before making FPS games to like, hey, make a crosshair.
And you think the success rate like the 90% with crosshairs, but sometimes...
I think we can just follow the next steps again.
Add some visual feedback when target is hit, like a small particle explosion. Nice. Back to Gemini.
Okay, we got something. Grid shooter FPS.
Okay, I like the font.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm clicking.
To play.
If error still occurs, please open the browser developer console. This just fix errors. I'll click that.
I didn't know they have that. That's neat.
It seems like the errors have been found.
All right, so we supposed to have an explosion now.
Yes, but right now you can see in the next step, Rosie said integrate the particle system. So this is like a multi-step change. So we're going to do this next step as well.
So it's important to approach your game in simple steps. Otherwise, you can basically ruin your game while you're trying to add too much at the same time. We also got an error, and we can just quickly fix it. It's very clear. Boom.
Okay, so it looks like we are done with that one. The next step is now suggesting something different. So let's try out and see if we have our nice effect.
Whoa.
We do? Nice orange particle effect.
I think we need to start by adding a gun. We made a video on 3D assets and great websites where you can download them for free.
I'll upload one right now. I'll head over to the asset tab, hit upload asset since I have one in my folders. I'm just going to drag it in.
Jason has some guns handy, so that's good.
So I just uploaded 3 different blasters. I actually don't know how they look like. I just have a big folder of blaster dash letter. So now I want to see which one is going to look the coolest of this one.
Wow.
Pretty good.
So, and it's going to use, I guess, the color map to make them look good.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the color map's where they got the color from.
Which one is your favorite?
I like this one. I mean, nice sniper rifle.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Please add blaster F to the game as my first person gun. So now Rosie's going to add it. Yeah, she can make the bullets appear to be coming out of the gun. And if it doesn't look like that, we can tell her to make it look like that. Okay, we got a quick response from Rosie. We can see that the gun is facing the wrong direction and is way too small. Also, doesn't have the texture yet.
A little tiny.
Yeah. Right now, there are a few issues. The gun is facing me instead of away from me. The gun does not have its texture from the color map, and the gun is 3x too small. You may not be able to fix all of them in one go because you might implement some fixes better than other ones, but at least we can knock off some of these issues so we can then focus on whatever one's left.
This is much better already.
Yes, much better. Pretty good. Okay, the gun's still too small, but facing the right way now and has its texture, which is great.
So we tried fixing all the errors on Gemini, but still there's another error. Guess we can click fix all the errors again.
Yes. Look, we can hold out hope that after all these errors are fixed, the game just ends up being great.
Yep.
Make the gun 3x bigger and make the bullets appear to be coming out of it. Because right now, you see when I shoot, they're coming out of my head almost, or my chest. You could see that in this next step, she's saying she wants to modify the game to use the new muzzle position. The muzzle's like the end of the gun. So she's still working on the fix for where the bullets are coming out of, but she's pretty much done the gun. I think the gun looks good right now in terms of size. So let's continue with next step so she can fix where the bullets are coming out of.
Love that. Very easy. Don't have to even prompt anything.
Yeah, we've only done like 1 or 2 prompts. Okay, she says she's done. There we go.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, awesome.
Now it can even add some simple recoil. Well, let's do it.
Sure. Keep it going. All right. Let's click the play. Oh,
wow.
we're in.
Okay, we have a crosshair, but we cannot actually shoot.
I can't shoot yet, but look, controls are working well. I can jump very high.
Yeah.
You have walls, which are not solid.
Oh.
We still have some work to do here, but this is a relatively good start. The gun doesn't appear to fire anything, and I can walk through walls. Those are the main 2. So we can tell Gemini that. All right, okay, Gemini said it's done. Let's copy the game.
It is shooting, but in a very interesting...
I can shoot though. I can shoot like even when I shoot the things. The bullets look weird.
It looks more like a laser.
Yeah, it does.
Can you walk through the walls though? So I wonder if that was fixed.
That's fixed.
Oh.
Well, it's kind of like the semi-solid game.
I see.
That's weird, actually.
Yeah.
I can sometimes walk through them, I can't. But that's actually probably worse than just not being able to, because it get confusing about whether the problem's solved.
Yeah.
But we just let Gemini know that that's happened. So I said, right now the bullets look like lasers, make them look like energy spheres. And also, I can still partially walk through walls, make them actually solid. I think that's pretty clear. All right, so let's switch back to Rosebud. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, the recoil is there.
Yes.
Okay, we should go back. Let's try to add the recoil again. It's fine.
Yep.
We tried to make a lot of improvements to Gemini before even going back to Rosebud AI because we are much further, I feel like, in the game. But I'm still curious how we can add an asset.
The way we'll add an asset to Gemini is by taking the asset from our Rosebud project and giving it the URL.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a hack.
Yes.
You can host your assets, Rosebud AI.
Gemini is done. Let's see how it did. Shooting works, but when I try and move, the game completely freezes. I can't even move. To see how the game's like choppy sometimes, that's actually only when I move it does that. When I stay still, everything's like normal. Very weird.
Wait, shooting is definitely better now, but...
Shooting's good now. Let's just say that I can't move right now. Also, when I try and move, the game freezes. Please just fix the movement. Let's see if Gemini can resolve that. Maybe Gemini trying to like add some kind of check for whether you're touching the wall or whenever you have like checks for when are you colliding with this, are you colliding with that? They can be too heavy-handed and it can lead to you not being able to move properly. Gemini is saying something similar. Right now, controls are flipped, but I can move relatively smoothly now, and also the walls do work. Almost there. Just need to slow me down a bit and also make it that the controls actually are right ones. So can I still shoot properly? Yeah, we're almost there.
But I think we should still just try adding an asset and see if Gemini can even do that.
Well, we are using our Rosebud hosted asset. Since Gemini doesn't have an asset upload that I know of, I want to copy the URL for my Blaster F. So I'm going to have to do the same thing for color map. Head over here, say, add my gun asset as the FPS gun of this game. Also make it appear that the bullets are coming out of it. I posted my Rosebud asset URL, the one being used in the Rosebud game right now, and same thing for the color map, which is for the texture of the gun.
I don't think we actually tried adding assets to any of the AI models from other companies, so let's see.
Air loading gun model. Okay. Well, I think I actually know what might be happening here.
Well, we can click fix errors and see if it can do it.
I thought it was going to be a cores issue. It's like we can't load this through the cores, which is just some security issue. Oh, it is doing that, but it didn't do it for color map. That's so confusing. Which is basically saying that you're not allowed to load this since you're not Rosebud. Color map also is a Rosebud asset, but...
So we're having issues loading the assets that are hosted by Rosebud AI, but I guess if we want to use any assets, they're going to be hosted somewhere and not with Google.
We can tell Gemini to make a gun out of simple geometry and see how good it looks. Just told Gemini to make a gun out of inbuilt geometry instead.
Let's see how far can we go with that. Are we back to Rosebud AI? We have a recoil now.
Pretty good.
I think now we need to make those cubes look like actual targets.
Yeah, I should be able to. Right, I said make the cubes look like actual targets.
So we got the targets. They just look great.
Okay, I said make the targets also have target colors instead of just being one solid gray.
Wow, we got a gun from Gemini. And I think it's shooting from the gun, so...
I did ask for that explicitly, but yeah, at least Gemini did it. Bullets coming in the right spot, that's good.
Let's ask the last thing to also make the targets look like targets.
Right, I said make the targets in this look like actual targets, plus have target colors. Go air, go fix this. Interesting. Looks like the...
That's a funny target, yeah.
They look good, but I mean, it's oriented wrong. And is the gray even needed at that point?
We have a great screenshot feature. You can just click screenshot and say,
the colors of the targets are oriented wrong. Also, is the gray part needed? So now she can see this image and see exactly what we're talking about. All right, this is much better. She was able to align the color with the actual gray parts. This is pretty much what we wanted, so.
Let's see what we got on Gemini.
Okay, Gemini says shoot the red, blue, or yellow targets.
Okay. These are funny.
Yeah, we have some Z fighting, whatever going on. You see the textures fighting with the actual background, the white part, but it looks pretty good. You can tell the color looks pretty good.
All right, and you can hit them.
Pretty good. All right, so I said the colors of the targets right now have Z fighting. Make sure there isn't improper overlapping. You can also just say that the colors are glitching around or something like that. Gemini will be able to infer.
Z fighting, I've never heard of before, so.
Essentially what it means is that Z is like how much things overlap. What's the highest thing? If things have too similar of a Z level, they'll be exactly on top of each other. So depending on the angle you look at them, they'll be like glitching around, switching between which ones you can see.
Cool, got it.
Okay, let's see. Gemini fixed it. Seems to be nice. Knew what's going on.
Looks better.
Yeah.
Can we actually open the code for a second? I just want to see if it's single file or if it's multi-file. Okay,
Sure.
so it's all single file, right?
Looks like this is 446. I don't see any other ones.
All right, so we definitely built a very similar game to what we envisioned. It's an FPS.
I mean, Gemini did a good job with a nice aesthetic right away. And while there were errors, they do have the fix it button at least, so you don't have to go and read everything in the console. But as you can see that over time, the errors can pile up. You have a big code file, and all of a sudden, you're going to be in a tough spot because there's only so much code that you can have in one big file setting to LLM. So early on in projects, things can go well, but at some point, you kind of have to think about, okay, my game's going to be bigger later, and also I will have assets I want to add. That's honestly very important with game dev, so you have to make a decision.
Also, Gemini doesn't have a full screen for your game, so it's going to be a bit of a pain to play it, but you can zoom in like this, so it's kind of fine. Thanks so much for watching. Definitely try Rosebud AI. Make a game, show us what you got, join our Discord, and we'll see you in the next video.
See y'all.